I'm Jonathan Ammons, Editor-in-Chief of The Dirty Spoon. Welcome to the Ingles table. As a food, travel, and culture writer, I meet people from all over the world to talk about not just what they eat, but why it matters. Not all of us can afford to travel the globe to taste the flavors of the world, but with a little creativity and ingredients from Ingles markets, we can bring those flavors into our own homes and even save a little money in the process. Today we are making Bazella, a recipe given to me by a Palestinian friend. He describes it as his ultimate comfort food, an aromatic stew that takes him right back to the Middle East. We start by heating a little oil in the pan. Any olive oil will do. Start off with a little bit of onion. I tend to pepper my onion so that it just toasts the onion a little bit. That pepper gets nice and toasted in there. The onion starts to absorb that flavor. You're gonna let these simmer on low heat until it just starts to turn translucent. All right, your onions have simmered at a low heat for a little while. I'm just gonna add a good bit of garlic in there. You can do this with fresh garlic. I just find that the packaged garlic that you can find at Ingles tends to last a little longer. Should just take a minute. And then in with some ground beef. We're not using all of this ground beef because we're only cooking for one today. So we're just gonna take that beef in there. Now flatten it out. Let it start to brown. Add some pepper and some salt. And that's when you start breaking it up a little bit. Get it good and mixed in with those onions. Once it starts to get nice and browned, go ahead and add your carrots. All right, we're gonna let that simmer for just a minute. Now we're gonna add just a little bit tomato paste. These small cans of tomato paste that you find at Ingles, perfect for this kind of thing, pretty versatile. And then we're adding our chicken stock. You can buy boxed chicken stock. We're not gonna do a ton of this, just enough to get it covered, or you can make your own. For a great tip on how to make your own chicken stock, just head over to inglestable.com and check in the tips section. And I've got a couple tricks on easy ways to make your own stock. And this is when we're gonna add our Baharat spice mix. Baharat seasoning is a staple of the Middle East. It is used in dozens of dishes and is an easy thing to have on hand. And you can make it yourself with ingredients that you can find at Ingles Market or with ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. For a list on how to make that spice mix, just check out the recipe below. We're gonna go in with all that spice mix. Next we'll go in with some frozen peas. You can do these canned or frozen. The frozen ones tend to have a little bit better texture, I think. You don't want to go in too early with them because they'll overcook and get really mushy. But go in at the last minute and they'll just get nice and flavorful, soak up those spices. All right, and we're just gonna let that simmer at a low heat. Just back the heat off. Now that that's had the chance to simmer for a few minutes, it started to thicken up really nicely, and it's time to talk about our rice. We did a rice pilaf style here with just an onion that was simmered for a little while before adding in the rice, and then finally our chicken stock that we cooked it in. You can cook it with any kind of stock, just adds a lot more flavor to the dish. Traditionally, this is served with a vermicelli rice, which all you would do in that case is cook rice like you normally would, except break one serving of vermicelli into inch-long pieces and stir it in before you add the water. This time though, we decided to go with a bit different one, just a little onion flavor in there, just to accentuate what we had going on in this stew. You can see that it's a little darker in coloration. That's from that chicken stock. It's super flavorful. On with our Bazella. A Palestinian comfort dish, perfect for a cheap meal. Thanks so much for joining me here at the Ingles table. Make sure to explore the rest of the site for more great tips, tricks, and recipes. We'll see you next time.